Welcome to the Get Fit Guys quick and dirty tips to slim down and shape up. My name is Ben Greenfield, and in a recent episode called 10 Tips for Gym Etiquette, I taught you how to navigate through your workout without offending others. But fitting in at the gym can go beyond simply being polite. You have to know the lingo if you really want to fit in. So in this episode, you'll learn 17 common gym terms, from gym equipment to exercise movements to common gym phrases, and how to understand workout instructions or conversations you may hear or take part in at the gym. If you're a more advanced exerciser and already know these phrases, you may want to check out my episode, How to Get Better Results from Weightlifting, where you'll learn other terms such as quarter, stripping, cheating, and more. Let's begin with some of the common equipment you'll find lying around the gym. Barbell. This is a long bar that typically weighs 35 to 45 pounds, although there are lighter versions at most commercial gyms. You load weight on both ends of a barbell to increase the resistance. Once you've added the weights to either end of the bar, there's something called a collar that also goes on either end to keep the weight on while you're lifting. Don't let your ego get in the way when using a barbell. It's easy to get injured with these, especially if you forget to put the collars on. Cables. A cable exercise apparatus is typically comprised of some type of handle, like a rope or a bar, attached to a pulley via a cable, which is then attached to some kind of stack of weights. By using the combination of handle, pulley, and cable, you can manipulate large amounts of that weight and move in many different ranges of motion that would be difficult or even impossible with a barbell or dumbbell. And next is dumbbells. Dumbbells are typically comprised of a handle in between two weights. They can be used individually or both at the same time, and are usually either adjustable, meaning you can add resistance by attaching more weight to the dumbbell, or fixed, meaning that you can't change the weight. Dumbbells are highly versatile and can be used for a wide range of exercises. You'll typically find them stored on a sturdy shelf called a rack. Be careful the dumbbells don't fall off the rack, or your toes could pay a hefty price. Free weights. If it's designed for exercise and not attached to some kind of pulley or machine, you can call it a free weight. This term covers barbells, dumbbells, medicine balls, kettlebells, or anything else you can grab and do a variety of exercises with, assuming it's not a small, defenseless person. Free weights are good to include in your program because they use many stabilizing and balancing muscles. Plates. Plates are the weights that go on the end of a barbell or adjustable dumbbell. In America, plates typically weigh 45, 35, 25, 10, 5, or 2.5 pounds, while most international plates are 25, 20, 17, 10, 5, 2.52, or 1 kilogram. See, I have been listening to you international Facebook fans, and I will try to include some of those international measurements when I can. Next is a Smith machine. This machine, named after a gym owner who invented it, is comprised of a barbell that moves in a stationary track, which ensures that the barbell only moves vertically and in a controlled path. It can be used when you need to press or lift heavy weights with a barbell, but don't have someone to help you. Stack. On a weightlifting machine or cable apparatus, the resistance, which I mentioned earlier, is provided by a stack, which is usually several rectangular-shaped plates that are stacked on top of one another. Resistance can then be selected by using a pin that can be placed at a chosen place on the stack. Interestingly, a stack can also refer to taking several nutritional supplements at once, which I wrote about in the article, Do Muscle Building Supplements Really Work? Next are some terms that you may come across in workout instructions or exercise books and magazines. Recovery. When you perform an exercise, you'll eventually get to the point where you need a specified number of seconds or minutes to rest or go easy. This is referred to as your recovery period and typically varies from 30 seconds up to several minutes. Reps. Short for repetitions, reps indicates the number of times you perform an exercise movement, which typically ranges from 3 up to 30, depending on the type of workout you're doing. Set. A set is a group of repetitions, and typically you'll perform 2 to 8 or more sets for any given exercise. For example, if you're trying to get a toned butt, you might do 5 sets of 12 reps of a reverse lunge exercise. Spin. Contrary to popular belief, this is not some type of crocheting or indoor craft class, but is actually a form of cycling that's performed on a special bike called a spin bike, and usually occurs in a group training environment. Typically, spin bikes have a wheel called a flywheel that provides the resistance, so they're a bit different than a regular stationary bicycle, because once you stop pedaling, that flywheel can keep moving, so you need to be prepared for that. tempo. Many workout books, magazines, or programs now indicate tempo, which simply refers to the speed at which you lift. For example, if you take 3 seconds to lift a weight, hold the weight for 1 second at the top of the movement, then take 2 seconds to lower the weight, the tempo would be 3, 1, 2. 3 up, 1 hold, 2 down. Finally, you may hear the following phrases pop up in conversations at the gym. Failure. Rather than indicating that you did a bad job at something, the term failure, when used in an exercise environment, simply means that you got to the point of physical exhaustion, which often occurs in sets designed to build muscle. Max. This term is simply short for the maximum amount of weight that one is able to lift in a specific exercise. It's pretty safe to assume that someone who uses this term frequently may not be telling the entire truth. Spot. Someone may ask you if they can get a spot, and they're not asking you to help them find their dog. This means they're asking you to help them do an exercise with a weight they probably can't lift themselves. PR or PB. Short for personal record or personal best, this is used to describe a new personal achievement, such as running 3 miles in 20 minutes, being able to bench press 200 pounds, or sticking to a New Year's resolution for longer than 10 days. Work in. If you're asked by someone if they can work in, this simply means they would like to share a piece of equipment at the gym with you, perhaps by alternating sets on an exercise machine or using dumbbells that you're doing sets with. It may also mean that they're just hitting on you, so be careful who you let work in. Do you have more gym lingo of your own that you'd like to see mentioned? You can go over to the Get Fit Guy Facebook page by going to facebook.com and doing a search for Get Fit Guy, and let the others know about your phrases. And be sure to tune in next week, where I'll be talking about how to burn fat and build muscle at the same time. Until then, this is the Get Fit Guy asking you, what are you waiting for? Go get fit.